another question. What happens next? No-fly zones sound simple, but in reality, they're big, complicated, expensive, and risky endeavors. That means a huge effort.
The front line will be the fighters that would take care of any Libyan aircraft that would be out there. To keep those fighters in the air, you need aerial refueling tankers, provide gas so they can stay airborne longer. Behind them, you need things like jammers that will jam the surface-to-air missile sites, that would jam Libyan communications.
And war is always and everywhere unpredictable. Retired General Wesley Clark commanded NATO during the wars in the Balkans in the 1990s.
The UN Security Council resolution says no occupation by foreign military troops, but that doesn't mean you couldn't put, let's say, air and naval gunfire liaison coordinating teams on the ground and use those folks to support the rebels if it comes to fighting or taking out Gaddafi's forces.
The United States essentially lit a fuse that's easier to light than it is to extinguish, because the limited steps that we are doing are unlikely to be the end of it. If they fail, the United States and the world are going to be on the hook to do a lot more.
And finally, what is the end game? It might be clear who we're fighting against. Muammar Gaddafi, a longtime weirdo and thug in the region, a boogeyman of the Middle East for decades. But who are we fighting for?
One of the lessons of the last few years of Iraq and Afghanistan ought to be that we've got to be doubly careful about getting involved in these military situations when we are not fully knowledgeable about the situation. Sure, we know we don't like Muammar Gaddafi. On the other hand, are we so sure we like the alternative? Are we really sure that we want to help bring about a Libya that may not be in control of all of its territory, so groups like Al-Qaeda can put down roots? Are we really sure we want to get involved in a military intervention that we quite honestly don't know what happens next?
But President Obama and the UN have made a calculation. Better the devil we don't know than the one we do know.
Somewhere a week or two ago, the tipping point was passed, and it was clear that Gaddafi wouldn't listen to reason, that this wasn't going to end peacefully, and there wasn't any way that in the aftermath that anyone in the world could feel safe and comfortable dealing with the Gaddafi regime.